Fab Tool Friday. Here we go. We're making something out of this and turn it into something like this.
Wow!
So if you haven't guessed it already, this might have gave it away, but a TIG torch holder. I'm making another one. This one's not as strong. The magnet's not that good. What's up, everybody? Chris Winarski back again, welding fabrication video for you guys. Today is July 17th, 2025.
And the forecast in sunny Dunedin, Florida is 92 degrees today, and it is said partly cloudy, but that sun is beaming right now, and it's hot.
In today's Fab Tool Friday video, we got something for our TIG welder. I guess you could use it for a MIG welder maybe, but mainly for in the shop, but it is also good for in the field too. But for our TIG welder, if you haven't guessed it already, this might have gave it away, but a TIG torch holder. I'm making another one. This one's not as strong. The magnet's not that good. Got this one from Harbor Freight. It was like $5-6 on sale, and I wanted one with a nut and a bolt on there, so you can weld something to that bolt and then screw it in. And I'm gonna make it like this because it's actually stronger. The magnet's not that strong, and it's a little big for the bottom. So if you don't want this one, Amazon makes some neodymium ones for not that much more money than this, and they're smaller and a lot stronger. This is like 25 pounds full strength, and the other ones are like 75 pounds. I have one at home, a nice torch holder, TIG torch holder from Hourglass Ingenuity. If I leave that at home, I don't want to bring it in here. But he don't make them anymore that I know of, and those things were awesome. But we're just going to show you how to make one. This is a really good project for somebody starting to learn how to, or just got their TIG welder or something. I mean, you could buy them. You could buy one like this, but that's big and bulky. I like this because you could just hang it on the table, and you can also make a couple, like 2 around your table, so you don't got to bring it back and forth and stuff. But this is what we're going to use. So kind of my plan's exactly to make it exactly like this. I'm not sure if this is a metric bolt, but maybe I'm going to use that. If it's not, I'll just use a different bolt, a regular one, and just weld right to that bolt. But we can worry about that later. But I'm just going to make it almost exactly like this, and it'll just be without that little piece on there, and it'll be welded on like that. So kind of just copy the measurements, and you could use, I'm just using a round bar. And you could use whatever you want, square tubing, pipe. You could even weld it, bend it, do whatever you want. It's your thing, so do what you want with it. Use your imagination. This is how the thing came. It had a little thing on it like that, which I could almost use that or attach to it if I wanted to. But I'm going to found a piece of round bar, already cut it. I think this is like 3/8 round bar, and cut it to my desired length. So from here to here was about 2 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch gap on the inside, and this is about, I don't know, 3/8, quarter inch curve up like that. So, what I did was, I'll show you, I cut this piece to 5 3/4 on the bandsaw. I took it to the bandsaw over there, bandsaw right there, gave it a little choppy chop. Actually took it to the grinder with a flap disc, and I just deburred it, and I rounded the corners, which is really easy to do a nice little corner on that because you could kind of roll it with your thing. And then I took it to this wire wheel after this and just cleaned it up like that. Just cleaned up all the mill scale and rust off of it. So that's that. So what I did was I found center of this, and I think it was 2 7/8 each way from either way, and then from the center I want a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. That would give me a 1 inch spacer on the inside. Then that would give me 2 inches to left over, so I marked 2 inches and 2 inches on each side, and then I got whatever that is, like quarter or 3/8 left over for those little ups. So that's it, and you could bend it however you want to bend it. That's up to you. Yeah, how I bent that other side, you could cut it and weld it, but this bender will only do one bend, so I could bend it like this and then just bend it another way, which is a good idea, but just do it with some heat this time in a torch. This was my idea because that's 1 inch tubing. Shim it up like that, take that flame away from the table a little bit, and I could tack it right on the corner like that, clamp this down, so once it's tacked down I could just hopefully heat it and pop it over or something. And that's my plan. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'm not the master with the flame torch, so we'll see. And we'll just center it up as best as possible, like that. Get a little tack on there, and hopefully it's good. And honestly, you could probably heat it up with the welding torch, the TIG torch, if you needed to too. Just like get it glowing red, bend it. Same thing on the other side. Or you could cut it and just bend it like that. But I don't use the torch that much, and we're just going to give it a little try and see how it goes. And I think that should work. That popping with the torch was weird. Never did that. Somebody messed with this thing. It could be loose. I'll check that in a minute. Probably not good for the video, right? I should have fixed all that first, but we'll do that after. But yeah, I think my gas was like 5.6, like 60 and 5. I think somebody always said that rule. But anyway, so that should be all right like that. We'll let that cool down. Now we just gotta do a little flare up, which I could probably do. Just clamp it in a vise and just bop the whole thing somehow or something. But it's a little hot right now, so I'm gonna let that cool down for a minute. Just take my fan, put that on there, and let it cool down for a minute. I'll clean some stuff up. Maybe clean that up and figure that out, and we'll be right back. And I took this nut off, or bolt, and unfortunately, it looks like fine thread, which we probably don't have, or I'd have to look around, and it might be metric. So, instead of actually ruining my bolt, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to cut this somewhere, like right up here or something, and just weld that piece directly like that. And that way, it'll be pretty good. Be like that, and that'll be it. It's close to all the way cooled down, but I could almost work with it. But one thing I like about just tacking on one side instead of a couple sides is you don't gotta cut it off. You can usually just, still a little warm, rip it right off. So anything temporary, or if you're like bracing, putting this on like a brace between like table legs or something, if you just were to tack just one side, you could peel it right off after you're done. You don't gotta put no grind marks in it or anything. So food for thought when you're building something. So that's that. And I'll just grind off that little thing, even though that's probably where I'll tack it. We'll bend this up and go from there. So all cleaned up. It looks like it's, oh, still a little warm. Looks like it's in a little, but we'll fix that after. So let's see how I get this after. I marked it like 3/8 before, but now I went to 5/8. And you can see one is a little longer than the other. If you could see that, and one's like a little bent in. So my bends weren't perfect than my marks, but for what it is, it's fine. So here's my idea, just to put it in like this. Clamp it, maybe try putting a level on it or something, or eyeball a level. Clamp it down and probably just bop it with a little kick on it, and we'll see how that goes. And boom! What do you think? That should be all right. Put a little couple hammer marks in there, so maybe I'll just take a grinder and smooth that out really fast. And the teeth, put a little mark in there. I cleaned it up pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. And it's going to get painted anyway afterwards, but I think that's it. Now I just got to cut my piece. So here's my piece. Kind of essentially go wherever I want to put it. I'll figure a spot. So I'm just going to cut it right at the end right there, and we'll tack it right on. And it'll go something like that. I think that'll be pretty good. Piece cut, we're going to start to get ready to weld it on. Okay, so this is how I'm going to weld it on. Probably to the back, I think, instead of up top. I think that'll give me... Up top's a little easier to tack it, but here, give me a little more... maybe we'll do up top. Quick little adjustment in the vise to kind of straighten it out and put a couple more tacks on it. There you have it. We'll bolt it up, see how it works, let it cool down. If it works, we'll unbolt it, throw a little bit of paint on it, and go from there. Moment of truth. Kind of cool. Nothing fancy. Ooh. Almost fell on my butt. But I guess I could have made this a little bit smaller of a gap on the inside, but that's all right. And this should be a lot better than this one right here. One thing I don't like about this is it's going to scratch up the outside, which doesn't really matter. I put another can of paint on it sometime, but now we got to figure out a color to paint this. So it would have been nice to match the table. So I'm going to do a purple if we have a little bit of purple left up. And that way, a little unique. Can't be boring with black or white, right? Anyway, there you have it. That's my little job for quick little simple job, I guess. Probably cheaper to buy something, but I don't think they make anything little like that. All they make is those big things. So, kind of cool. I'll figure out what kind of paint we got, put a little primer on it, and we'll come back and show you guys the finished results. But a little primer on it tonight, probably a little can of paint. Got a tiny little bit left, probably enough to paint that, and we'll show you the final results. We shall see you guys, I guess tomorrow or whenever it will be. Oh yeah, I wanted to say too, I got this new microphone set, so hopefully the noise cancellation worked pretty good. That's my first time using it, but Hollyland, what's it called? Hollyland Lark A1, and these things are super, super tiny. Look how small these little things are. And it's got a little magnet on the back. And I watched reviews on it, and the noise cancellation is pretty good on this. It was like, you can get them for like 30 bucks and like 40 bucks or 50 bucks or whatever with different receivers and a charging case. This costed like 10 bucks more in this whole little charging case like this. Not a sponsored video at all, but my videos were getting kind of, the quality of the audio wasn't as good because you could hear the welder in the background and all the fans running in the shop, so, or grinders or something. So hopefully this will help and make my audio a little bit better. But anyway, see you guys when that's finished. One more other thing, clean up your mess before you're ready to leave for the day. Not too hard. Man, people can't put this one little... How hard is it to do that? Not too hard, people. Anyway, nice and clean now. That way, clean, swept up, ready to go for the next day. What more can you ask for? Gotta put this up, keep the table clean, so no one messes it up. All right, guys, moment of truth. I just put it on really fast. I put the paint on yesterday. Today's today, or today's the next day. But that's it. What do you think? Let me know. Kind of cool. That's to hold it. Okay, let's see. Still gonna let it dry a little bit. Paint's still a little tacky, but cool. I got a second one. So that is your little DIY trick if you want, or like a little project for your welder on kind of cool little Fab Tool Friday. Simple, easy, effective. Might be cheaper to buy one, but I don't know if they make any mini ones like that. It's kind of mini and compact. So, and if you want, you can put it on the bottom of your table if you got a big plate or something. They're kind of cool. But let me know what you think. If you have different ideas, share them. I don't think we could share to YouTube, but share it on my Instagram or something. But cool. So that's Chris Winarski's Fab Tool Friday video, DIY project of the day or week or whatever you want to call it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And we shall see you on the next one. Chris Winarski, over and out.